Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Fraser Crane 69 and it says, the guy I'm dating, 36 male, has a shrine to my 37 female ex-husband in his house. I was married for 7 years to a celebrity. I put it in quotes because, well, most of you have never heard of him. He is at A-list in the world of metal music. If you're a metalhead, you 100% know who he is. We split amicably because he was always going on tour. I used to love going with him, but the thrill of it wore off and I found myself sick traveling so much. Because of this, we grew apart, but still keep in contact occasionally because despite the fact that our marriage didn't work, he is a really cool, nice person. 2 weeks ago, I met a guy through a friend that I immediately hit it off with. We've been on 3 dates so far. The first 2 dates were drinks after work. He showed up in nice khakis and a button down both times. On our latest date, I went to his house to watch a movie. Literally watch a movie. We are taking the physical stuff slow, lol. He has a nice house, so I asked for a tour. After he showed me the upstairs, he said he had to show me his game room. We went down into a fully furnished basement with a pool table, a mini bar and darts, but there was something very weird down there also. Apparently my new man is really into metal music. Would never have guessed based on how he dresses. And his favorite artist of all time is, you guessed it, my ex-husband. He had framed posters of all of my ex's bands, autographed signature guitars. Every record he has ever released were framed on the walls. He even had magazine articles about him and some of his bands framed. Every wall in his game room was covered with my ex's face and his signature guitars. So I may have messed up here, but I kept my mouth shut and didn't say anything. He knows I'm divorced, but he definitely doesn't know it's from his idol. We were seeing each other tonight for the 4th date and I know I need to tell him. But how? I really like this guy, but I'm afraid if I tell him, he will freak out and run. What should I say? Where should I tell him? I just don't want to damage our relationship because I can really see it becoming long term. I know I should have told him at his house, but honestly I was in shock. Anybody know how to approach this? So there's a lot of skepticism in the comments. Pagan Princess says, I find it really hard to believe that he has a shrine of your ex-husband to the level you're describing, but doesn't know who you are. Maybe I'm jaded, but it seems too coincidental and potentially unsafe for you. Opie says a lot of people are saying this, and now I'm a little freaked out. I mean, he can Google him and find out we were married. Now I'm scared he did. Now I'm going to ask my friend that introduced us if she told him. Another commenter says, have you ever been in photos with your ex-husband that this new guy might have seen? I find it hard to believe that in this day and age that he wouldn't know who the former wife of his idol is. Opie says this never dawned on me until I posted it, but there are pictures of us all over the internet. Now I'm a little freaked out that he already knew. Sorry little sis replies that says, if he's such a fan, he knows you. Opie says, yeah, I think you guys are all correct and I don't think I should continue seeing him. I'm beginning to think it's not a coincidence at all. Spawnbroker says, yes, this is a potentially dangerous situation for you. Crazed fans can and do harass family members of their idols. I know it sucks and you really like this guy, but if this guy is a stalker, he could be targeting you to get your ex-husband's attention. Opie says, thank you for your concern. After reading these comments, I'm gonna break it off. I can't believe it didn't occur to me that he already knew. Elaine says, I think that's the safest. The chances of him not knowing who you were married to are pretty slim. I could understand if it was a band he'd never heard of, but his favorite band and artist? No way. Hardy says, whoa, aren't you going to check with his side of the story too? He might have no idea. Opie says, yeah, I'm going to go through with our dinner date tonight and talk to him about it. Cotton Candy says, he met you through friends and is obsessed with your ex-husband. Yeah, he definitely knows who you are. It'd be hard to spend a lot of time tracking down signed memorabilia, etc. without ever getting a glimpse of a name or a pic of his favorite celebrity's wife. Like, someone that spent that much time and effort following and Googling your ex-husband absolutely would know about wives and divorces, etc. I would talk to the friend that introduced you and ask them if they know who your ex-husband is, and ask if the guy specifically asked to get an opportunity to meet you. Opie says, I called my friend. She says she didn't tell him, but after reading those responses, I realized he could Google him and find pictures of us together. Now I'm weirded out. Banana with 3 legs says, did she know he was a fan? It's weird to me that he specifically wanted to show you that room. It makes me feel like he already knew. When he showed you, did it look like he was watching you for a reaction? OP, can you update us how this all turns out? OP says he didn't seem to be looking for a reaction. He just looked really excited to show off his game room. And those comments felt absolutely spot on, that this guy has got signed memorabilia. Every wall of his little gaming place was covered with memorabilia of this person. I just feel like those comments said that there's no way he couldn't know about you in some form, and bringing you down there felt like he was trying to get some kind of reaction out of you. But either way, that's weirding me out at the same time. But OP comes in with her update and says, well, after getting a huge range of answers, some of which were kind of frightening, I decided to give the new guy the benefit of the doubt and go ahead with our dinner date that night. Our 4th date. So I met him at the restaurant and we had some wine first. We were just talking and chatting, and I realized that I had to bring up the ex-husband thing. So while we were both 2 glasses of wine in, I decided to just ask him flat out if he knew that I was previously married to his favorite musician. He laughed nervously and said, yes, I knew, but my friend didn't tell me. I figured it out. He told me essentially that he found out through the grapevine and he decided to start mingling with my friend so he could meet me. He told me that yes, at first it was just because I was married to his idol, but that now he is really developing feelings for me. I thought it was a little odd, but I felt fine with it, until I remembered his man cave basement. I asked him if he knew I was married to his favorite musician, then why the fuck would he bring me down there to show me all of the memorabilia? His response was too weird for me. He said, I was trying to see if you would confess. I was like, confess to what? And he said, to me being married to my ex. I told him that I thought it was pretty concerning that he tried to trick me into some weird confession and I didn't think we would work out. He accepted it and didn't seem upset or anything. Dinner had already been served, so we started eating when he proceeded to bombard me with questions about my ex. When is he releasing new material? What is his favorite band? What does he do during the day of the show? Is he vegan? What's his mother's maiden name? Okay, so I made up the last one, lol. Blah blah blah. Finally, he could sense my discomfort, and we ended the dinner and parted ways. He said he would text me the next day, just as friends, which I said was okay. Well, his text the next day was trying to get him and his friends VIP passes when his ex comes near us to play. I did not respond. I blocked his number because he kept texting again and again, begging me for the hookup. It was desperate and weird. Anyway, I called my ex to warn him about this dude, even though he seems harmless. He doesn't know where I live, and I didn't get any psycho vibes. I think he just wanted me as a trophy, as some user put in my last post. Ew. Thanks, Reddit. And that is absolutely terrifying, you know, the amount of information that this guy knows, and he got himself in your friend group to get to you with what it sounds like ultimately to get to your ex-husband. Absolutely terrifying behavior. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's have another story. Now, our next story comes from the Today I Fucked Up subreddit from Ullman Chef 420, who says, today I fucked up by making my one night stand breakfast. I got out of a bad relationship a few months ago and only recently felt good enough to get out of the house again. This was my first ever boyfriend, and he turned out to be a piece of crap, so I was obviously a bit hesitant. But some old friends from high school were visiting my town and asked if I wanted to go on a bar crawl with them, and I figured, fuck it, it's not like anything will happen, other than getting drunk with some pals, so why not? At the first bar we run into a group of guys from my university. I'd seen some of them around but never spoke to them before. One of my friends decides she's going to force me to get out of my shell and drags our group over to talk with them. I'm extremely quiet, like weirdly quiet to most people. So I end up sitting in the corner of our booth and not saying anything, just drinking and feeling awkward. Well, one of the guys in the other group, let's call him Adam, is also being weirdly quiet. So my friends and his friends, who are already tipsy, decide to make things as awkward as possible by making us play Truth or Dare. except we have to drink when we don't want to answer something. There was a lot of personal/sexual questions neither of us wanted to answer, so we ended up drinking quite a bit. By the time we're done at the first bar, Adam and I are on a whole different plane of existence from everyone else, and it turned out we had a lot in common, and he was pretty cute, and we were goofing around and laughing the whole time. I started to get butterflies in my stomach, and not just from the alcohol. Adam has my exact sense of humor and is really sweet and kind. We wander off and start having deep drunk conversations about feeling left out of things and how annoying it is when people say shit like, "Can they speak?" I tell him I'm walking home and he offers to walk with me. I know where this is going, but I'm drunk enough that I don't feel nervous. Plus, I feel like I have a genuine connection with this guy. Our friends are wolf whistling as we leave, and instead of being embarrassed, I feel weirdly proud. So we get to my place, talk and smoke for a bit, and do the deed. I wake up earlier than him and decide I'm going to make a nice breakfast. I want to impress him and show him that I like him, and everyone likes a good breakfast when they have a hangover, right? So I sneak out of bed and make scrambled eggs, French toast, and sausage. I prefer almond milk, so I use that for the eggs and French toast. He wakes up and tells me I look just as cute sober. At this point, I'm convinced he's the love of my life. He sees the breakfast and gets excited, and I'm like, yes, my plan worked. I'm gonna get his heart through his stomach. We eat and everything's going great for a few bites. Then he makes a weird face and clears his throat. His eyes start to widen and asks me what if there were nuts in the bread or something. I say no, but I used almond milk. He jumps out of his chair and says, "Call an ambulance, now!" I'm freaking the fuck out. He's wheezing and stuff and looking absolutely panicked. I asked if he has an EpiPen and he shakes his head no. So I call an ambulance and tell them he's having an allergic reaction and paramedics come and haul him off. This happened last weekend. I've not heard back from him since. I found his buddy and confirmed he is not dead. I guess accidentally triggering a severe allergic reaction does not lead to romance. Oof. And unfortunately, Opie hasn't updated after that, and I wish they did give an update because it sounds like it could have been the beginning of something pretty special. Lots of commenters suggesting that probably he was embarrassed about the situation as well. And I imagine it was absolutely terrifying for both of you. You know, you wasn't intentionally trying to kill him. And I'm sure he knows that. You were trying to do something special for him, which just went wrong. And, you know, I'm glad that he's doing well. But I would fire him a message and just saying, "Hey, are you okay?" And see what response you get from there. I don't know. What do you guys make of that one? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now, our next story does have an update with it. It's from Oddlocksmith 9500, and it says, "Am I the arsehole for not removing a photo my girlfriend told me before she moved in with me? I, 26 male, think this is completely ridiculous, but maybe I'm actually wrong, so here goes. I've been with my girlfriend, 26 female, for 5 years, but we've known each other since we were 15. I'm fortunate to have my own place, and we've discussed for a while her moving in with me, as she's been staying in the house more often. This wasn't a problem until she was about to move in. I have a few photos in the house of me with members of my family. The problem is with a specific photo of me with my brother and father. She told me to remove the photo before she moved in to accommodate her. I asked her why. She answered that it's weird. But to me, there's nothing weird about the photo. She's the one making it weird. Maybe the only thing weird about the photos is all of them are when I was a child, but none of them are inappropriate or have something you can take the wrong way. She had no other argument, and in the end, I refused, and she said she wouldn't move in, and I was okay with that. This has been a topic of discussion for the past few days. Some of our friends and even my father said that I should remove the photo to make her feel welcome. But I just find that again, ridiculous. Edits, I won't post the photo because I don't feel comfortable, but I'll describe it as much as possible. The photo was taken when my brother was 6 and I 7. In the middle is my father with a grin from ear to ear, his eyes closed and his arms extended to the sides. To his left, my brother, buzz cut, standing straight with his arms at the side like a soldier and a serious face. To my father's right is me, long hair, standing like a boxer from 1910 with my chin up and a mean mug, all wearing a suit because it was taken at my uncle's wedding. The photo was taken outside the place where the event took place. There is nothing exceptional related to the place. The only things aside from us is the sun, the blue sky, and a bunch of trees. She has met my family. She has always been respectful and friendly with them and vice versa. There hasn't been any incidents or problems with any of them. I asked her and she's denied it. Her problem is with the photo I described above. I have other photos with my father and brother individually. I do the same pose in various photos. I have one doing the same pose with my paternal grandfather, where we both wear boxing gloves. He taught me the pose. She has stayed in the house multiple days, even weeks. She has things here. She never brought up the issue. I'm all for compromising, but I need a proper explanation other than it's weird. I still have long hair, even longer than before. She is very fond of it and not a problem. None of the photos stand out. They're put on a small part of the wall in the living room with the others, including the ones I'm with her. They're not big, or I'd basically be upholstering the entire wall. She had issues with her family, but they solved it. But I don't rule out that something happened that she hasn't told me. I just get the feeling this is nothing about you and your father and that photo in particular. It's something to do from her side, and it's brought back memories for her in some kind of way. Personally, I'd want to know why as well, not just remove the photo because I say so. I wouldn't feel happy about that. I love having photos of all my family and extended family on my walls. It makes me happy. And for someone to ask them to remove them with little reason, I wouldn't be up for that. But a small update on this from OP says, I'm reading your replies, but my apologies for not answering every comment. There are just too many. We've talked this morning, and this has nothing to do with me or my family, but hers. The photos brought some feelings, and she was feeling bad for someone else and not for herself. It has to do with one of her nephews. He's going through the same situation as her when she was 15. No sexual abuse for those concerned, and she has been blocked about what to do. She has apologized for her behavior in the past days and for taking it out on me instead of coming for help. I'm going to see her once I get out of work so she can tell me about it, and we can find a way to stop her from going nuclear on her family, and we can help her nephew. So OP comes in with a full update and says, before the update I will clarify some points, and also please excuse my English. It is my third language. I looked at the photo for a solid 30 minutes, and again, there is nothing remotely wrong. It wasn't taken at the wedding but at the reception, and still, it wasn't a religious wedding, and you can't tell there is a party going on. Also, I said the size of the photo, but I was just spitting nonsense. It's smaller. Religion was noted. We're not religious, and we have no incidents related to it. My father's pose was also pointed out. I know it's hard to imagine. His arms are not extended like a T, they're extended in an angle with his palms opening, pointing at us, like, look at them. I used grin, but smile is better. Synonyms in the end, but whatever. He says that in previous photos with him, we just stand there and smile, and he expected the same. But we just came up with that. I was the first to pose, and when my brother saw me, he didn't know what to do, and ended up standing still and serious. He also says that our poses describe perfectly how we were in our childhood. My brother, the goody two-shoes, and me, the troublemaker. He was trying not to laugh his ass off, and that's why he had his eyes closed and smiled from ear to ear. He also pointed out that a member of my family molested or slept with my girlfriend. We might be a little wild, but we're not complete animals. Everyone in my family is friendly and, most importantly, very respectful to my girlfriend. The same way we are with my brother's wife, father's wife, and uncle's wife. Women who joined our family who also treat us the same way. Besides, Grandma would cut our balls if we act inappropriately with any of them or other women. We in any sense would break someone's trust or go lengths to split our already small family. We'd rather lose an arm, and there are not incidents of this in my girlfriend's family either. Many of you jump to extremes. I can't fault you given the amount of information I provided. I hope this update clears things up. The update. My girlfriend had problems with her family when she was 15. All of them, including her extended family, are involved in the medical field, and they expect everyone to do the same. They were very supportive of her, until she decided to follow a different path. They let her study what she wanted, but there was friction. They spent her high school years in therapy fixing their relationship, and they did, according to her. Now, her nephew, her brother's son, also wants to pursue a different career. He's been facing the same problems my girlfriend faced. He called her because he knows that she does something completely different, and because the relationship with his father and even with his girlfriend's parents changed drastically. The call happened days before she was about to move in with me, and what caused her behavior. My girlfriend wanted to deal with the situation before she moved in with me, and by herself. Unfortunately, she did it horribly. On the day of our fight, she hasn't thought in any other than going ballistic. She was going to tell me about it and ask for help, but she decided to pick a stupid fight to buy time and deal with the situation. Not only the mentioned photo, but all of them brought bad feelings. She just selected the goofiest one. She not only felt bad for herself, but especially for her nephew. She doesn't have a problem with the photos. She likes them, or with my family. It's the contrast. I hope this makes sense. My family has always supported us no matter what, and the photos show that. While with her family, it seems their support is still conditional. She thought her family knew better at this point after what happened with her. In our first chat after I made the post, she apologized for her behavior and told me what I wrote above. She explained that she felt overwhelmed and she broke down when she thought I might be breaking up with her popped in her head. I never implied, which prompted her to book an emergency session with her therapist. She had the session before our talk. She accepts and knows that everything could have been avoided if she just told me what was happening. Despite what the situation implies, she has never made these types of demands and knows that I don't tolerate them. She completely regrets it. Our communication has always been good. We've always been open with our needs, problems, and what we want in the future. Not for nothing, we're moving together. We already had a long trial thanks to the quarantine. I understand her a little because things have been going really well between us and with her family. The situation with her nephew came out of nowhere and shook her up a lot. She knows that I'm still a bit upset that it took her this long to come to her senses, and she keeps apologizing. But she keeps taking the right steps to move forward, so we're cool. We also talked, still do, more in depth about us, and we're on the same page. I'm not going anywhere, and she's been more than explicit that she isn't either. She suggested couples therapy, and although I'm not against it, if we communicate like before and now, I think we'll be fine. But I don't rule it out. We're going to keep things as they are for now until the situation with her family is resolved, whatever the outcome. Which made her rush to message her parents to set a meeting with them next week. We're taking it easy and dealing with one problem at a time. The photos are staying and she will bring hers once she moves in to put them with them like we agreed before. I think I covered as much as I could. Thanks for taking the time, and I'll be checking the post if you have other questions. And there was a lot of comments below this one. Quite a few of them saying, they're not ready to be moving in together. Some people responding to that saying, she had an out of character freak out and it was an appropriate response to an emotional trigger. But what do you guys make of this situation? Would you move in together? Would you not? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time, it always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere. You're selling false hope cause you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care. Nah, you just don't.